Space games have a rich history filled with innovations that have shaped not only the genre, but gaming as a whole. Today we're looking at the 10 space games that defined the genre, or rather 11, but we'll get to that. Let's start our journey then. Picture an arcade in 1978. Amid the jangle of coins and the buzz of excited chatter, Space Invaders makes its debut. An arcade shooter, you maneuvered a laser cannon defending Earth from descending rows of aliens. Its 2D graphics were simple, yet compelling. The relentless, steady, speeding invaders, the 4 protective yet destructible shelters, and the ominous, rhythmically advancing sound effects, all combined to create an exhilarating gaming experience. Space Invaders popularized the wave-based gameplay, encouraging repeat plays to beat high scores, a concept now ingrained in gaming culture. It was a commercial success, sparking the golden age of the arcade game. Its influence on the space game genre was fundamental, pioneering the use of themed graphics and shaping the foundational gameplay mechanics for future space shooters. Jumping ahead to 1984, Elite revolutionized the genre with its open-world space exploration. It featured wireframe 3D graphics, a feat at the time, making the black expanse of space feel vast and full of potential. Elite provided a rudimentary universe of 8 galaxies, each containing 256 planets to explore. You began as a humble commander with a small spaceship and a bit of cash. Free to trade, pirate or mine your way to the Elite status. Elite introduced a sandbox concept to gaming. Its open-ended gameplay and freedom of choice have had profound effects not only on the genre, but gaming as a whole. It laid the groundwork for future space trading and combat games, presenting a universe not as a backdrop, but as a living, interactive entity. Starglider 2 released in 1988, and it was a leap forward for the space game genre. It built upon the success of its predecessor Starglider and introduced an open-world environment with the ability to freely explore planets and space. The game's significant advancement was the use of filled 3D polygon graphics, a big step up from wireframe graphics commonly used at the time. This allowed for a more immersive and realistic visual experience. Starglider 2's combination of space and planetary exploration, combat and puzzle solving set a high standard for future games. It showcased the potential of space games beyond simple shoot-'em-ups and was a clear influence on subsequent open-world space exploration games. In 1992, Star Control 2 added a new level of complexity and narrative depth to the space game genre. It presented a diverse universe filled with colourful characters and alien races, each with its own history and personality. Star Control 2's mix of exploration, combat and diplomacy, set against a compelling narrative, was a refreshing departure from the genre's traditionally gameplay-focused design. It showed how storytelling could enhance player engagement and add depth to the space game experience. This game's influence is seen in later space games that have embraced rich narratives and complex character interactions. In 1999, we were introduced to X Beyond the Frontier, the first in the highly influential X series. The game was characterized by its seamless combination of space trading and combat within a fully 3D environment. The visuals were ahead of their time with detailed ship models and stunning cosmic landscapes. In X Beyond the Frontier, you were stranded in an unfamiliar region of space and had to earn your way back home through trading, undertaking missions, and combat. Its economic system, featuring supply and demand mechanics, was unique and ahead of its time, setting the standard for future space economy simulations. The X-Series' sprawling universe, dynamic economy, and freedom of exploration would shape the expectations for future space sandbox games. Then, at the turn of the millennium, Homeworld redefined the real-time strategy genre. The game presented a full 3D movement in space, a revolutionary feature for RTS games which, along with its intricate, emotionally driven storyline and atmospheric music, created an immersive space opera experience. In Homeworld, you guided your exiled people through a journey across the galaxy to find their mythical home planet. The game integrated strategy, tactical combat, and narrative in a way that had never been done before, setting a new bar for real-time strategy games. Its influence on the genre has been enduring, with modern space games often citing Homeworld as an inspiration. In 2003, EVE Online took space gaming into a massively multiplayer online realm. It offered a player-driven universe where economy, politics, and warfare were largely influenced by player actions. The game's stunningly vast universe, containing thousands of star systems, was unprecedented. EVE Online also allowed for social complexity on a scale unseen before, with players forming alliances, corporations, and engaging in epic space battles involving, later, thousands of participants. This level of player-driven narrative and social interaction set EVE Online apart and paved the way for future MMOs in the space genre. In 2011, Kerbal Space Program took a different approach. It introduced the fun and challenge of space exploration through a physics simulator. You had to construct a spacecraft capable of flying its crew to space without getting them killed, a task far easier said than done. With its charming Kerbal astronauts and its marriage of fun and learning, Kerbal Space Program was unique. It didn't just allow players to play in space, it also taught them about it. It showed that space games could be educational, popularising the edutainment approach in the genre. Elite Dangerous launched in 2014 by Frontier Developments, and it can be seen as a modern successor to the original Elite from 1984. It preserved the open-ended gameplay of its predecessor, offering an entire galaxy for players to explore, trade, mine, and combat in. What sets Elite Dangerous apart is the sense of scale and realism. It features a full one-to-one scale open-world representation of the Milky Way with billions of star systems, all based on real astronomical data. The game even evolves in real time, with dynamic player-influenced economy, faction power struggles, and community-driven events shaping the narrative. The game also stands out for its stunning visuals and attention to detail, which, combined with the option to play in VR, provided an incredibly immersive spaceflight experience. The impact of Elite Dangerous on the genre is significant. It raised the bar for what can be achieved in terms of scope, realism, and player agency in the space games. Fast forward to 2016, and we come to No Man's Sky. Despite its rocky start, it offered something genuinely fresh, a virtually infinite, procedurally generated universe. No Man's Sky allowed players to explore countless unique planets, each with their own flora, fauna, and alien structures, and yes, there was certainly some repetition there, but the variation was something to behold. Post-launch updates have since added depth and functionality, transforming No Man's Sky into the game many hoped for at launch. No Man's Sky challenged the notion of scale in video games and set a precedent for continuous development and redemption in the gaming community. And lastly, we have Star Citizen. This is the 11th title out of 10. It's an outlier for a very specific reason. Still in development, its ambition and scale has undoubtedly affected the space game genre. It's worth noting that its long development and unfinished state have drawn criticism, yet its aspiration to combine trading, combat, and exploration in a persistent universe has been highly influential. Its unique funding model and ongoing development have created new discussions around player expectations, game development cycles, and community involvement in creation. Star Citizen then remains a game quite unlike any other, and its long-term effect on the space game genre remains to be seen. And there you have it, a journey through the evolution of space games. Each title we've discussed has brought unique elements to the genre, setting standards and pushing boundaries that have shaped the way we game in the cosmos. From Space Invaders' basic but captivating gameplay to the ambitious, persistent universe of Star Citizen, these games have defined the genre, each in their own unique ways. But space is vast, and so is the world of space games. This list is just a glimpse into the array of games that have made a mark. There's still an expansive universe of titles out there, each contributing to the genre in their own way. And who knows what groundbreaking innovations future space games will bring. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys and girls next time.